the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin has adopted the Federal Communications Commission's National Verifier tool. This is a way to screen individuals for Lifeline eligibility. Lifeline is that subsidy program that provides discounts for home and internet services to individuals up to 135% of the federal poverty level or who are otherwise participating in some public benefits programs like Medicaid or Badger Care Plus or Food Share or even tribal assistance programs. Now, we're happy to share a little information on this new application process for Lifeline, made possible with support from the Public Service Commission of Wisconsin's Universal Services Fund. Consumers can now begin their application for Lifeline using this National Verifier tool. Of course, the paper application is still available, or if you're used to just working with the service provider directly, you can still do that. But this is one other entry point into the Lifeline program that might make it easier, especially for some service providers or professionals out there working with low-income consumers. If they're trying to help connect them to some benefits and services in their area, this might make it easier to help facilitate that online process. Now, before you begin, have a couple things handy. Your address is going to be important, so is social security number or tribal identification number. The system's going to try to find you if you participate in some public benefits programs to just make verification of your identity and eligibility that much faster. It really speeds up the identifying who you are and where you live, and if you do participate in one of those public benefits programs, then your verification will go through much faster. You'll then be able to contact a service provider and finish your Lifeline application. Step one, once you visit the National Verifier website, and we link to this in the description below, is going to be creating an account, much like any other account you would set up online, where you pick a username and password and enter some security questions. You can then log out and log back in with those credentials, and the system will remember you. You're going to log into that new account, select a qualifying program that triggers your Lifeline eligibility, like a Badger Care Plus or Food Share or Tribal Assistance Program. Then you're going to finish the application with an opportunity to review it, initial it at the bottom, and submit it. And we're going to talk about a couple extra steps you might have to take if that system is not finding you as quickly as you would hope. Now, we did say that participation in some public benefits programs makes you eligible for Lifeline. So does being up to 135% of the federal poverty level. And we link to our federal poverty level calculator in the description below as well. So you can see where you fall on that eligibility threshold. But other public benefits programs that also would make you eligible for Lifeline are those Medicaid programs, including senior care and Badger Care here in the state of Wisconsin, Food Share, Supplemental Security Income, also called SSI, some federal housing assistance like Section 8 housing, and veterans and survivor pension benefits. And like we said, there are even more tribal assistance benefit programs that you might participate in. We're going to link to the listing of some of those categories below. What's next? Well, in some cases, you will receive an almost instant approval, especially if you mark you participate in Badger Care Plus. They're able to check that electronically. It verifies you do indeed participate, and then you can move right through to the final steps of the process. In other instances, the National Verifier may request you upload additional information, such as proof of household or proof of income. After you're formally approved then, through either of those two processes, you then have 90 days to contact a Lifeline provider and start your service with that Lifeline subsidy. The provider should have your information triaged to their database so you won't have to start from scratch once you contact that provider. But here's the important thing, is the National Verifier is not enrolling you in the Lifeline program. It's doing that screening for eligibility, getting you 99% of the way there, and then the onus is on you to contact the service provider to start the service and finish that process. And on the last screen of the Verifier, as you're going through the application process, it is going to provide a list of service providers near you. Like we said, there are still the more traditional ways of applying for the Lifeline program. You can still apply on paper. You can go right to the paper application form and send it through the U.S. mail. You can also go right to the service provider themselves, the phone provider or the broadband provider, and talk to them directly about participating in the Lifeline subsidy program. Now, we do link to a couple of things in the description below. We've been calling them out as we go, but first of all, how to apply for Lifeline in that National Verifier link, our federal poverty level calculator, some of the programs that make you eligible for Lifeline if you're already participating in them, and our Teach, Learn, and Connect for Kids resource library, where we talk a lot more about other services of the Public Service Commission that you may be able to take advantage of.